Let's talk about the Church of England. Now, you've definitely seen the buildings, you've heard the name, but what does it actually do in the UK today? Because it's way more than just a religious institution. It's actually a super powerful official part of the state, and we're going to break down exactly how. So let's start with a little question for you. We all know King Charles is the head of state, right? That's his main gig. But he holds another massive official title, one that gives him a whole lot of spiritual authority. Any ideas what that might be? Because the answer tells you so much about how power really works in Britain.
Okay, first things first, let's cover the basics. What even is the Church of England?
So, the Church of England, or the CofE, as you'll hear it called, is the official state-recognized church in England. And that little word, established, is the key here. It basically means it's formally baked into the structure of the state. It's also the head honcho of the entire worldwide Anglican Communion, which is this huge family of churches that stretches all the way from New Zealand to Canada. So who's running the show? Well, the answer isn't as simple as you might think. It's really a tale of two different leaders. And remember that other title the king has? Well, here it is, Supreme Governor of the Church of England. This is a really formal constitutional role that goes all the way back to Henry VIII, and it's meant to symbolize that unbreakable link between the crown and the church. But the king isn't, involved in the day-to-day running of things. That absolutely massive job falls to the Archbishop of Canterbury. He's the most senior bishop, and he's the spiritual leader, not just for the church here in England, but for that entire global Anglican community we just talked about. Okay, so let's try an analogy to make this super clear. Think of the monarch as kind of like the chairman of the board. They're the symbolic figurehead, representing that historic link to the state. The Archbishop of Canterbury, then, he's like the CEO. He's the one in charge of the company's mission, the doctrine, the worship, and basically holding the whole spiritual enterprise together every single day. Now, to really understand what makes the Church of England unique, it's actually really helpful to compare it to the church it originally broke away from centuries ago, the Roman Catholic Church. So what are the big differences? There are three main things that really set them apart. First up, leadership. The CofE has its two leaders, the monarch and the archbishop, while the Catholic Church has one ultimate leader, the Pope in Rome. Second, the clergy. CofE priests are allowed to get married. Catholic priests have to remain celibate. And third, and this is a huge modern difference, the Church of England allows women to be priests and even bishops, which the Catholic Church does not. Okay, so we've said the CofE is the state church a bunch of times, but what does that connection between the church, the state, and the crown actually mean? Like, in the real world, how does it all work? Right, this link works in three really important ways. First, at the coronation, the new monarch is literally crowned by the archbishop and has to swear an oath to protect the church. Second, the UK government, the Prime Minister, actually has a say in who gets appointed as a senior bishop. And third, and this is where it gets really interesting, 26 of the most senior CofE bishops automatically get seats in the House of Lords. They're called the Lords Spiritual, and they get to vote on the very same laws that affect every single person in the country. So just let that sink in for a minute. This direct link means the UK is one of the only major Western democracies where religious leaders, who nobody voted for, have a guaranteed place in Parliament helping to make our laws. It's a really unique and, often pretty debated part of how Britain is run. And all of this leads us to one final, really big question for modern Britain. In a country that is so incredibly diverse now, with people from all faiths and, of course, no faith at all, what is the future for an official state-run church? Is it a tradition that we should preserve no matter what? Or is it maybe time for a rethink? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.